Hello Year 2, welcome to the final week of work for Year 2. We're going to be looking at subtraction strategies. I think you might say, oh Mr. B, we've done subtraction loads of times. Well, I know we have. But one really important thing is we can do column subtraction, and I know we're super duper at it. But also sometimes we might not need to use a column subtraction method. Sometimes we might need to look at them and think, oh, I can just do this in my head, a mental method. And I might think, well, do I need to count forwards or do I need to count backwards? And that's what we're going to try and establish and try and learn today. Do we need to count forward? Do we need to count back? Of course, we've always got some different ways at our fingertips that we can maybe use that subtraction, column subtraction. But let's just look at this for today and see if you can maybe use some of these mental strategies to help you. So here they've got a sum, we've got a word problem. I have 53 pence and I want to buy an apple for 11. How much will I have left? Well, we know that that's 53 take away 11 because the apple's costing 11 pence, so it's going to take that away from our amount. So we can look at, it would be a lot to jump the frog up to 53. So we could do our little ones. I like to do jumps of 10, don't I? So we could maybe get to the 10 and then count up. But 11, I would do a jump. I'd probably do a jump to 21, jump to 31, quite a lot, jump to 41, jump to 51, 52, 53, quite a lot. So I know it's 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2. So I could do that, or it's quite a long way to do, quite a long way to go. Would it be better to go backwards, to go this way, and go back 11? So on a number line, that might look from, I'm at 53, so I would go back 10 less than 53 is 43, and then back 1. So there I've gone this far. And what number am I at? I'm at 42. So I've gone back 11 instead of forward 42. So it's saying in this situation, it would be easier to count back because it's less. It's less work for me. We always look for the easiest way to do it. So we'll look at the same one here. I've got 60 pence and I spend 47 on a drink. How much will I have left? So our sum we know is 60 take away 47. These numbers are so close, so we know that 60 and 47 are close. So whereas this one, the numbers were quite far away, 11 and 53. 11 and 53, it made sense to count back. This one they're really close. We've talked about this in class, so it might just be as well to count up. So 47, 48, 49, 50, that's 3 pence. 50 to 60 is 10, and we know a 10 and a 3 is 13. So this time it didn't make sense to count back. We could start at the 47 and count forward because that was the easiest method. So it's all about they call it the most efficient, but we'll call it the easiest way. What is the easiest way? Okay, so on this one, it wouldn't be better to start at 60 and go back 43, like 10, 20, 30, 40, 47, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, I'm at 13. That isn't as easy as going forward to what they've done. So look for the easiest, closest way. You might use a number line, or you might be able to do it mentally as a mental strategy. So here, subtract by counting up or back. So we'll look at the same ones. Which way would you solve each of these? Taking away, which is counting back, or finding the difference, counting up. If you find it easier by saying counting back or counting up. And it's okay if you don't agree with somebody else, that's fine. Think about what's easiest for you. So do you think it's easier to take away the 21 there by counting back, or is it easier to count up? This one we've got 60 take away 46. What's easiest? My mind on this one would be that's quite a long way away, so I would count up from 21 to 60. And this one, 60 take away 46, sorry, that one I would count up. I would do 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. I know that, so that's 4 units. 50 to 60 is 10. 10 and 4 is 14. So I just did that as a mental strategy. Whereas this one, I might need to do a subtraction, much like the one earlier on. 60 take away 21. So on that one, I would start at 60 and I would go back 21 to get to 39. That's how I would do that one. So whereas that one I felt it was easier to count up, that one I'd start at 60 and count back. You might not agree. You might think, well, Mr. Barton, I know from 21 I can count up to get to my nearest 10. So, okay, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So that's 9. And I can count up from 30 to 60. 30, 40, 50, 60, 3 tens. So you could do it that way. And that's fine. You can do it the way that you want. And that's the whole point of this. Yes, of course, we could do 60, take away 21 in a column subtraction. But in fact, probably on that sum, it's easier to count up because we've got to remember, oh, I've got a 0, I'd have no tens. Go next door, make it into a 5. Bring that over, make that into a 10. 10 take 1, oh, that's 9. 5 take 2, that's 3. So we could do it, we know it, but equally we could just count up from our 21 in our units to get to our nearest 10 and count up in tens in no time. I hope that makes sense. Again, in these strategies, I used a mental strategy. I didn't use number lines. I find the numbers quite tricky sometimes to follow along on these. But if you find the number line easier, wonderful. If you find count up in your head using your fingers, wonderful. Again, it's what is best for you. So some practice sheets here for you to do, whether you prefer to count up to it or count back to it. A rule of thumb, something for you to think about quite easily is, if it's quite close, it's usually easier to count up. If the numbers are quite far away, you're usually easier counting back. So this one, they're far away, so I would do 52 and go back my 10 on a number line or in my head, knowing that 10 less than 50 is 40 and the units wouldn't change. And if the numbers are quite, and certainly on this one, but if the numbers are quite close, you think, oh, well, I could just count up to that one like this one. So 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70. Well, that's 5 units. 70 to 80, well, that's 10. So 10. And then 4 units, so 10 and 4 is 14. Add my 5 is 15, so that would be 19. And I use that in my mental strategy. If you want to find that easier as writing things down, you can. Or you could do, you might know as your 5 times tables. 65 up to 70 is 5. You could count up 70, 75, 80. So 3 5s are 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So you could count up in any way that suits you, or you could use it on a number line. But this one I would say is easier to count up, whether it be in 10s, 5s, or potentially even 1s. But in class we usually try and get to the nearest 10 and use that understanding to count up. So I'll just make this clearer one last time. So 65 up to 70 is 5. 70 up to 80 is 10. 80 to 84, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84 is 4. So I've counted up, so I'd need to add each of those. 10 and 5 is 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You could even use a dot strategy under there if you wanted. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So again, just different ways to show the same thing. You could do it as 84, take 65. If that's really what you find easiest, then fine. But again, on these examples, certainly this example, sorry, year 2, here I'll put equals 19. On these, I'm going to say try and stay away from column subtraction because it's not always the easiest. 7, makes that into 7, 14, count from 5 up to 14, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, it is 9, 7 take 6 is 1. And there I've almost proved it. I've done it that way by counting up, I've done it that way and got the same answer, so I'm pretty secure in that understanding. Okay, so either count back or count up. Usually count back if the numbers are far apart. Usually count up if the numbers are close together. Some answers there for you. And that was my one. I got it right. I'm very happy about that. I sound delighted, don't I, you two? So, if you're a bit stuck, you want a little more help, well, there's an activity here for you to do, working in twos. Cross out the coins for the amount spent. How much will be left? So we've got 12 pence. So I'd always, you could sort of units your tens, but 2 units, you can partition it into 10 and 2. So 1, 2, and my 10, I've taken away my 12 now, they've gone. And I can count up in my 10s. 10, 20, 30, 1, 2, 3. My answer is 33. So that's quite a nice activity to do. If you're unsure, you can write out your tens and units and cross them out. So check your understanding questions. I'm not going to go through these because this is your opportunity to show your understanding, but we've got some similar questions. You're going to explain which method you would use, whether it's counting up or counting back. Tell us why for those sums there. And there's some answers which I won't go on. Enjoy the activity, year 2. Take care.